You know, I just came back from watching the press conference, and yeah, I'm gonna just say this, man. I feel bad for Shakur Stevenson because he's going to lose badly to Teofimo Lopez. I feel Teofimo Lopez is going to use this fight as a statement. This will be a statement fight for Teofimo. He's going to embarrass Shakur Stevenson. Like, it will not be a close fight. When I say embarrass, I see that Teofimo Lopez will use this fight to show that other promoters and other establishments can use this fight as an example to pay Teofimo Lopez his fair share. I just don't see how Shakur Stevenson...
You know, I think Shakur Stevenson is a great fighter. I mean, hands down, I have a lot of respect for him. I think that Shakur is by far one of the, you know, greatest fighters now.
When Oscar De La Hoya steps in front of a microphone, there's usually an agenda. He's a promoter, a businessman, and a master at shaping headlines. But on a recent episode of Club Shay Shay, he dropped the act and spoke purely as a fighter, sending shockwaves through boxing by declaring that Shakur Stevenson is the greatest fighter he has ever seen, above Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and even himself. The claim sounds outrageous in a sport still dominated by elite champions who unify divisions and dismantle opponents with surgical precision, especially since Stevenson is often criticized as polarizing or boring. Yet Oscar's perspective isn't about knockouts or highlight reels, it's about the deeper mechanics inside the ring, where he sees a fighter operating on such a refined, almost coded level that he has, in theory, solved the sport of boxing itself.
Shakur in this way. Boxing got very bad, but it's getting good. But people don't give boxing that much room anymore. Because if boxing sucked for a minute, they'll say that's why boxing's dying. Or if a fight doesn't happen, it's like that's why I don't watch boxing anymore. There's no tolerance now. Shakur's performance in this last fight was actually pretty good. It's just the tolerance for Shakur's style is not even, he couldn't afford that performance. But the performance was...
Oscar's, which claim makes sense once you look past the criticism and empty seats. Because while Shakur Stevenson is often labeled a boring, safety-first fighter who can't sell a show, there's a big difference between being bad for the box office and being bad in the ring, something Oscar himself admits, and as Shakur proved by dismantling the supposedly relentless William Zepeda. His technical mastery makes him a nightmare for any opponent trying to touch him, no matter the hype.
So here's my expert opinion on Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda, Saturday night Ring Magazine event. It's going to be incredible, New York. All right, Shakur Stevenson, what type of fighter is he? Exactly like Floyd Mayweather, okay? He knows how to box, beautiful footwork, stands up straight, shoulder roll, all that good stuff, right? Has a beautiful jab, right? Pop shots you with the right hand. Well, guess what? Floyd Mayweather lost against Jose Luis Castillo, which reminds me of William Zepeda, okay? But throws more punches. So think about this. Floyd, I believe, had brittle hands. Shakur Stevenson has brittle hands. If William Zepeda keeps coming forward, throws punches, is very careful with side-to-side movements with his head, keeps throwing that jab, because this shell here cannot block a jab to save your life. Throw to the body, throw to the chest, pin him in the corner, and just keep throwing punches and bunches. William Zepeda has probably the best output in boxing. So I got William Zepeda by decision or even a stoppage against Shakur Stevenson. And I love Shakur Stevenson. He's a great guy.
Instead, what we saw was a ghost Shakur didn't run. He stood in the pocket, slipping punches by inches and making a world-class contender look like he was fighting underwater. A performance that validated everything De La Hoya has been saying and proved that Shakur's style isn't rooted in fear, but in an elite level of distance control not seen since the prime of Pernell Whitaker.
But Shakur did his thing. I think the first half was Zepeda's, the second half was Shakur. You have to give it up to him, so.
Could you say probably this would be the fight of the year? I mean, it was a back and forth. We didn't expect that.
Yeah, it was good. It was back and forth. It was a great show. Yeah, it was a great. Out of here. We're out of here. Oh, you out of here? Yes,
it's the next one over here. All right. Oscar, what would be next for Zepeda after this, and obviously for Shakur?
Yeah, back to the drawing board, you know.
But he's, one loss is nothing. One loss against a really good fighter like Shakur doesn't mean anything. You bounce back from it, and that's what boxing is. My friend. We're gonna see Zepeda.
Fine, huh?
Yes, of course.
What stood out the most for you for Zepeda in this one? What stood out the most? I feel like he threw a little bit more power punches, he looked a little bit more crisp.
He threw a lot more punches, but the one thing about Shakur is that the punches he lands are very effective. So those are, they're just great for the scoring, But I think overall it was a good fight. I think it was another great experience for Zepeda. You just grow and learn. That's it.
Says Shakur's greatness comes not just from his power, chin, and vision, but from his computer-like control of distance that traps opponents into hesitation and defeat. And with Crawford retired and Usyk nearing the end, Oscar sees the pound-for-pound future shifting to the lighter weights, where Shakur's near statistically absurd dominance stands out to purest 7 if it isn't flashy.
Now, a lot of people will say style-wise, Teddy, style-wise, is this going to be a great fight? I don't know if it will. I mean, style-wise, I could see you having a little reservations, whether or not these guys will make for dynamite. They will make, for electricity. I don't know if they will, but I tell you what they will make for. 2 skillful fighters, 2 talented fighters, 2 fighters that are at a high skill level that will compete in the sweet science. I mean, Shakur showed aggression in his last fight against Zepeda, being elusive while being aggressive. Walking them down, fighting on the inside, boxing well, still being able to counter, still being able to control space, but also be able to go into tight quarters and not be afraid to show that he's good on the inside too, that he can make you miss and make you pay outside and inside. Shakur showed that. That was great. That was great, and people applaud him. I applaud him. We were sitting there ringside. I was sitting there actually with your sister, ringside, watching that fight. And it was a terrific performance. Shakur showing that dimension, showing that attitude, showing that competitiveness, showing that dog like people like to show or like to talk about, and they wanted to see in Shakur.
But hidden within Oscar's praise was a warning. Even a perfect fighter has a flaw, and for Shakur it isn't courage but belief in his own stardom. As De La Hoya argues, his trouble selling tickets comes from fighting not to lose rather than to captivate. And until he blends his flawless defense with calculated risks that capture the public's imagination, he'll remain a boxer's boxer respected by experts but ignored by the masses.
When Floyd fought Shane Mosley, where he pushed and all 12 rounds, he felt that Shane couldn't fight on his back, but as well, and can break him mentally a little bit. So maybe Shakur thinks I could maybe bully him. I mean,
and what this is the thing. Once a fighter catches this groove, once a boxer catches this groove, it's gonna be hard to time him, to catch his timing, to get away from shots. Right? When a boxer hits a flow state, he starts to destroy. For instance, Floyd Mayweather or Toro Gotti. So whether Toro pressed the action, Floyd was lighting them up. Whether Floyd pressed the action, Floyd was lighting them up. It didn't matter in that term. So if anybody has the opportunity to do that, it's Shakur, right? We want to get to that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to see from Shakur, man. I want to see him be able to execute moving forward, right? And the rest will take care.
This brings us to the ultimate test. On January 31st, all the praise, criticism, and Oscar's bold claims will be on the line when Shakur faces WBO champion Teofimo Lopez, the exact opposite of Stevenson, emotional, explosive, erratic, and powerful, a fighter who thrives on chaos.
That power is speed, right? So could it be a situation where people underestimate Shakur's punching power?
Yeah. I think Shakur can punch. You know what I mean? I think he can punch. It's just, like I said, speed is power. You're not them guys, muscle-bound guys come in and they tell me, he can punch and all that. Like I just got finished saying, like you just got finished saying, matter of fact, the punch that you don't see, he knocks him out. And they always say, man, I didn't see that punch coming. That's the one you worry about. You know what I mean? Then you got to look at this. Shakur, he got speed. He a technician, man. He know what he doing, man. I can't take that away from Tio. Tio's a good fighter too. You know what I mean? He's a good fighter. But I think Shakur is way above him.
Is this going to be the performance that shuts the haters up? Because everybody always talking about who Shakur didn't fight, didn't look good against, and whatnot.
Yeah, but they always say he didn't fight nobody. Just like with Boots, they were somebody before they fought him, and then once they beat him, or he was supposed to beat him, and all that. So I don't even talk to them people like that no more. I don't even talk. Oh wait, Boots was supposed to. I don't even. Man, I ain't got nothing to say to y'all guys, man, because y'all double talk, man. You know what I mean? You say one thing and then you say another. You know what I mean? So I think that with Shakur,
it's the classic battle of order versus disorder. And for Shakur, this isn't just another title defense, but a legacy-defining moment. Because if he can neutralize Teofimo like he did Zepeda and make him look amateurish, Oscar De La Hoya will have been proven a prophet.